So hi and welcome to case study video number 15. So in this video, we're going to do a quick recap of where we stand with this project. And then the main focus moving forward is just going to be content creation. So what we're going to do is, again, review everything. And I'm going to pull up this slide and we're going to talk about, at the end of this video, this repurposing content idea that we're going to do with this case study. So we're going to move from a blog post to a podcast, YouTube video, LinkedIn article, and then X thread or post. I'm going to show you how I did that with our first piece of content published on the site. But I thought that we would go in and just do a quick kind of overview of where we stand with the site development, the customization changes that I've made, and all sorts of stuff like that. So again, in the YouTube description, you can find lessons to the previous video. All the resources that I use are in the YouTube description. And again, this is a non-scripted quick video. If you want more detailed advanced training, you can find information on the full affiliate marketing course. So here we are with our website here, and I've got our logo. And I actually decided to go with 99 designs for the logo. So unfortunately, I used Fiverr, but the person didn't really get back to me. They produced a logo and I asked for some changes and I just never got them back. And Fiverr thought that I approved the logo when I really didn't. And I asked for some changes to this logo here. I don't know if it's available. I didn't approve it or I didn't accept it. So it's no longer there. So anyways, I kind of just went with 99 designs. I ran a contest. I had 175 designs and I chose this one as the winner, Stokes Trades. So here it is on the site right now. And I think it looks pretty cool. I like it a lot. Again, logos, you don't need them. I personally like them and I'm happy with this one. So we've gone with that. So there it is. I'll just kind of slowly go through what we have on the site. So how to become a day trader, that's like the main keyword that, I would eventually want to rank for with this project. That's a really hard keyword, something I might not be able to do, but that's sort of what the theme of this whole case study project is, how to become a day trader. So here I've got a recent articles button. So that'll take me to my blog. And then I have a newsletter sign up. So eventually in the future, I want this button to say like start now, where I have a page for day trading for beginners. And it's a step-by-step guide to day trading for like what to do for the first 6 months or 1 year. So at the time of recording this, it's early 2024. I haven't actually done all those steps, so I can't create that post or that guide yet, but eventually that's what I want to have there. And then for the newsletter, in the future, I'm going to create a case study video of how I've created this newsletter, but I have a sign up page here with Optimized Press. And again, I'll create a separate tutorial on this, but I want people to sign up for a newsletter and they'll get access to a 6-month blueprint. So they can put their email in here and then I'll capture their email and I'll send them this 6-month blueprint. And then I can follow up with email and eventually monetize through email, giving reviews of software and things like that. So I've got a newsletter there. And then if we scroll down the page, I've got a little blurb about me, a picture of me, and this is the learn more about me. So this will take us to the about me page, which I think I described earlier in the case study. And then here I've got just a little blurb about what the site is. And then I've got technical analysis. So just these are the hub sections of what this website will have. And again, I don't have these built yet. So eventually I'll have learn more buttons below these different sections. But at the time of recording this, I've got just 4 posts published. So, it's going to take me well into this year to get all this content up. And then I've got my latest articles here. So these are some blog posts, just some random ones that I've created, which I'll show you a little bit about. And then here I've got my footer. So I've got my newsletter sign up. And then I've got links to all my social media accounts. So for this case study, we have a YouTube channel, a podcast, a LinkedIn, a Facebook page, and an X account. In the future, I may set up an Instagram and a TikTok and a Pinterest, but for now, I'm just going to keep these social media accounts. I'm going to show you how I'm repurposing content onto all of these. So next we have, I'll show you the blog. So these images were created with ChatGPT. I basically wrote this article and then I sent it to ChatGPT and said, create a featured image based on this article. And they created these really cool featured images. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to just create these featured images for the site. And then here is the first article that I published. It's the blueprint for my initial 6 months as a day trader. And then I just published 3 other pieces of content, not keyword related pieces of content, but just to get some content up on the site. So I asked ChatGPT to create a guide for becoming a day trader. I talked about some mistakes the beginner day traders might make. And then I asked Grok, which is the AI tool from X, to help me create a plan for day trading. So those are just the 4 posts on my blog that I have created. And then I have my about page. We talked about that, just a contact page with my email, and then all the different social media accounts that we have here. And then the privacy disclaimer disclosure, we talked about that in a previous case study lesson. So that's where we stand with the site right now. And it's at a stage where I'm basically in the process of just creating content and moving forward with that. So basically, I'm going to do my actual journey to become a day trader. So the first steps for me personally are doing some stock market basic information, but then eventually I'm going to take my keyword list and basically create all the content regarding all of these keywords and some other ones. So this is going to take me a long time. You can't get overnight success with this strategy. I'm building an authority site for day traders for beginners, so it's going to take me a long time. I've got other commitments and things of that nature. So this is, it's going to take me a while, many years to kind of produce all of this content properly. But the way I'm producing it is going to be repurposing this content. So I think right now I'll show you this process of starting with a blog post. And from the blog post, I create a podcast. And from the blog post and podcast, I create a YouTube video. And then I use ChatGPT to create a LinkedIn article and then a thread on X or a post on X I can do myself, or you can ask ChatGPT to do this as well. So I'm going to show you the very first blog post that we published for this case study. I wrote it, so it's an original blog post, it's an original article, and then I dictated it into a podcast if it is something that would warrant a podcast about. Some content that you have or that I have for this case study, it won't make a good podcast episode, so I just won't do it for that particular one. And then I can present the blog post in a YouTube video format, and then I use that YouTube video script to send to ChatGPT to create a unique LinkedIn article, and then I can create an X post or an X thread. So I'm going to show the process of doing that. I'm not going to do YouTube Shorts, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, or Instagram posts as of right now. Maybe in the future I will go through and do those, but the process is basically going to be the same. So this idea is that the hub and the main content creation for this case study and this strategy is going to be your keyword content focused pages. So your blog post, or call them articles, on your site. This is where you do research and you create really useful, valuable information that is unique. And, I put my own unique spin on it. And then I repurpose it for these other social platforms to show that I have a brand and I can gain traffic from these other entities, these other assets. But I don't want to kind of redo everything from scratch. I want a system to do this that makes it easy. And if you're a pure beginner, then when you're just starting out, you don't really need to do all this. Focus on creating 50 or 100 or more of just articles on your site. And then once you get comfortable with that, you can think to and look to repurpose content elsewhere. But if you're a pure beginner, you've never done this, you've never created a site, you're brand new to affiliate marketing, don't get overwhelmed thinking that you've got to set up all these things. I can do this because I have all these things set up. And then this is, but think to the future. This is potentially what you might want to do as well. But don't get overwhelmed in the beginning. Just worry about focusing on your content on your website. But for this case study and for demonstration purposes, I wanted to kind of go ahead and show you this. So let's go to the very first blog post that I wrote for this site. And it's the blueprint for my initial 6 months as a day trader. So again, this is something that I needed to produce in order to go through with this actual project. For me personally, it's not like this is a researched keyword or anything like that. It's just an article and a bit of a blueprint that I want to create because I want to actually follow it. So this is the blueprint here, and I basically talk about the blueprint. I talk about my first mentors and groups that I found that have been really useful and honest in this space, day trading. And then I talk about my first 2 months, first months 3 and 4, months 5 and 6, and then some thoughts about the plan, and then the actual steps I'm going to do and all that. So I created this useful blueprint. So now I want to repurpose it on other platforms. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and basically dictated the article or just discussed the article through a audio file and created a podcast. So I will go and show you my podcast page. This is just my podcast page. I had my person who did my logo create this podcast cover for me as well. And then this is where all my podcast episodes are going to be. And basically I just get a little bit of code from my podcast player and embed it here. So this is a page on my website, podcast, and my podcasts are stored on Buzzsprout. So Buzzsprout is a tool where you can upload your audio files and it creates and it stores your podcast episodes here. So these are all the ones that I've published at the very beginning of the year. And these this tool, buzzsprout.com, allows me to get listed on all the big podcast players. So I'm in the process of getting listed on Apple Podcasts. It just takes a little bit of time, but you can see here I'm listed on Spotify, and very, very easy. Perhaps I will do a separate tutorial on this. Again, this is sort of just going over everything very quickly, but you come to Buzzsprout, sign up for an account. I created a name for this account. I uploaded my audio files, and it sort of just does the rest for you. And I can take a bit of code and embed that on my site. And I'm going to embed them on my actual blog post as well. So here is the podcast for this particular blog post. So that's Buzzsprout, and that is now on Spotify and so on. And I'll get listed on all the other directories as well. So that is basically what I did for this step. So the blog post, I basically just dictated it into an audio file, not word by word, but I just kind of talked about this blog post, and now I have a podcast. So that podcast is listed here. And if we go to episodes and we go to this particular one here, I have my show notes, and I have links back to resources that I talk about in the podcast and links back to my website. And what I actually did is I got ChatGPT to create all the show notes for me. So what you can do is you can create your audio files and your videos, and then you can use this tool called Whisper Translate. And I've actually got a transcript in here. I'll just kind of go back. I don't need this one. But this tool, it's a free app on Apple, on a Mac, called Whisper Transcription. And I can basically upload a file to this. So I can create my audio file, my podcast file. I upload it here and I get a transcript. And then I can come to ChatGPT and say, use this transcript to create the show notes for this particular episode. And then ChatGPT is going to use my dictated transcript. So it's all my information, but it's going to create a good show note for this particular episode. So I don't need to write this. I just got ChatGPT to create the show notes based on my podcast that I created a transcript, and then come to ChatGPT and ask them to create a show note. So I can actually just come to ChatGPT here and I'll show you what I did there. So here it is. It says, here is a YouTube transcript for my recent video. So, okay, I'll go and show you the video next. So there is the podcast. So next I want to, I'll talk about this when I talk about the video right here coming up. In our next step, I want to create a YouTube video. So what I've done is I've created my YouTube channel I've created a welcome video for what the channel is about. And then I've created my 6-month blueprint video here. So I'll click on this and it's just been uploaded. And, if you're a beginner and you don't have a YouTube channel, again, it's something that you will want to maybe do in the future if it goes well with your niche. But I have all this set up. So I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of setting up the YouTube channel, but basically I just created a video like the one you're watching now, where I talk and discuss this 6-month blueprint in a video form. And I've created that here and I've uploaded it to YouTube. And then I took the transcript from this video and sent it to my whispered transcription. So I opened the video file in here, got the transcription, sent it to ChatGPT and said, can you please create a YouTube description for this transcription that I created? And basically ChatGPT created a nice YouTube description. So over here, if I go to the YouTube description, this is ChatGPT's created this for me. So it's my information. I just had ChatGPT create the description for me based on the transcript that I sent ChatGPT. So using AI tools like that is very helpful. It's very useful. I don't need to write all this out. I just have them have ChatGPT create it based on my original transcript. And I've done that also for the show notes for all my episodes. And I'm going to do that for all the YouTube descriptions for my YouTube video. So I created a podcast, created a YouTube video. Now, what about a LinkedIn? Well, I went to ChatGPT and again, I submitted my YouTube transcript. They created a YouTube description. And then I said, can you combine this YouTube transcript along with this blog post to create a unique LinkedIn article for me? It must be 100% unique and can be more of a summary 6-month blueprint. So then what I did is I took my YouTube transcript, which is mine. I took my actual blog post. So I copied and pasted that, sent it to ChatGPT and said, take my blog post, take my YouTube transcript, which is all my original information, and please create a summary LinkedIn article. And it did that right here. And basically I've gone over to LinkedIn and I created a day trading blueprint for beginners. And now I have a LinkedIn post based on my original blog post and my original YouTube transcript. And here it is here. And I've got a link back to my websites right here. So what you can do is you can do the same thing. You can get ChatGPT to write this LinkedIn article. Now, what you want to do is just read through it and do some edits. Sometimes ChatGPT uses words that are, words that I personally wouldn't use, that are a bit more technical or advanced. So I just went through and just edited it a very little and just made it a little bit easier to read based on the vocabulary that I sort of use. And now I have a LinkedIn article with a few clicks of a button. So that is the LinkedIn article. And then for my Twitter or X thread, I went over to my X account and I created this. In 2024, I'm starting to learn how to become a full-time day trader. Here's my 6-month plan. So now I created a thread and I included my YouTube video. And then I personally just wrote this thread based on my blog posts. So, in months 1 to 2, this is what I'm doing. In months 3 to 4, this is what I'm doing. And I've created that and I posted that on X. Now, if you want, you can get ChatGPT to, you can say, based on my YouTube transcript, my blog post, this LinkedIn article, please create a Twitter or an X thread for me. I find that ChatGPT isn't the best at creating threads for X. It's a bit more personal. So I just kind of did it myself. But there you can see I created a blog post. That's my original content. I dictated it to a podcast. I created a video on YouTube where I just described the blog post, and I got ChatGPT to take all these through a transcription tool and create a create a unique LinkedIn article for me, and I created a post on X. So here you can see how I've repurposed content very easily on all these other platforms. I'm building my brand. I'm redistributing my content. I'm getting more traffic sources. And that is the process that I'm going to use. Now, again, if you're a beginner, don't get overwhelmed by this. You can take this step by step very slowly, or just start with creating your content on your website. And then once you've established your site and you're confident and you're comfortable doing that, whether that's 50 or 100 or more articles in, or maybe for your first year, just focus on building your site, then you can move out to these other platforms. So the stage that this site is at right now is I've got my blog here. I've got other pieces of content. I can consider, creating the same thing here. So actually, I have created the podcasts for all these blog posts, and now I can decide if I want to create YouTube videos from all of these and LinkedIn articles from all of these as well. I'm actually in the process right now of creating my first stock market basics article. So I've got an article that I'm working on. Actually, I'll just show you. If we go to and we log in here. So if I go to posts, I have this one scheduled. So I haven't posted it live yet, but if we just look at this, so again, this isn't live, it's going live. Stock Market Simplified, a beginner's guide to understanding what stocks are. So this is my article on what are stocks. So I wanted to do some basic refreshing information. So I've got this article, what are stocks? And I talk about them. How do stocks work? How does the stock market work? And I've actually recorded a YouTube video for this as well. So if I go to my YouTube studio and I have this getting, here it is here, what are stocks? So I have this scheduled to get released in the future. And here you can see, so what are stocks? So I've created, again, I've gone through this process. I've created the blog post. I've created a episode on here, what are stocks? It hasn't been released yet. So I've created a blog post. I created my podcast. I created a video here that's getting released soon. And then once it's released, I can create I'm in the process actually right now of taking the transcript and I'll create a LinkedIn article, what is a stock? So that's sort of the process that I'm starting with this. I'm starting at the stock market basics, what are stocks, what are bonds, and so on. And then I'll move through my full keyword list and just go through this process of creating a informational article and then repurposing it on these other platforms. So that's what I'm going to do for the next year or so. I'm in the content creation phase right now, and this is what I'm going to do for the next couple years. So you might want to think like, how long does it take to see results? This is what I'm doing for the future, and it just takes time. I've created one blog post and I've gone through this once. You have to build out your content, and depending on how much work you can do, I'm probably just going to work on this project on the weekend. So it's going to take me a couple years to go through and build this all out, but then I'll have 100 blog posts, 100 podcasts, 100 videos, 100 LinkedIn articles, and the next year I do 100 more, and so on. You can see that over time, I'm going to build out this brand and this authority in this space, but I can't do it overnight. So that's where we stand here. So moving forward with this case study, I think I'm going to do a few more videos that show you how to perhaps start a newsletter, how I set that up, and then I might do some more detailed videos on actually how to set up a podcast, how I did that specifically, and maybe how to set up some YouTube videos as well. But moving forward, for the next 6 months to a year, I'm basically just going through this stage with my keyword research here. And for me personally, and particularly with this project, I'm actually going to, view my 6-month blueprint. You can see that months 1 and 2, I'm actually just doing a lot of education and some basic background information on the stock market. So some of my videos are going to be what are stocks, what are bonds, what are commodities, and so on. So that's sort of this stage that we are at. So I hope that you found this useful. In the YouTube description, when the next case study is available, it will be down there. You can find all the prior case study videos as well, and any of the tools or resources that I've used in the case study. You can find links to those in the YouTube description. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. I will see you in the next one.